This next one might be kind of controversial. Hello and welcome back to Pushblock Gaming. My name is Jate, and today we're talking some more Multiversus. Of course, with the game being released just a couple days ago, had some time to play it, had some time to watch other people play it. We're gonna redo our pre-release tier list with how things are in reality now. You know, it was my first tier list. I really relied on those pre-release patch notes and some of my own thoughts, and I think I was just a little off. So we're gonna redo it here today. With that, all the same things apply as before. This is my opinion. You know, I've done some research, I've thought about it a bit, but I'm not perfect by any means, you know, and this is for 2v2 primarily. It's the main game mode, so feel free to take it with a grain of salt, but enjoy it. Feel free to talk about anything you disagree about in the comments. Just be respectful, all right? Let's get into it. So we're going to start off at the bottom of the tier list as usual, and sadly for me, this is going to mean my very favorite character right now in the game is going to be at the very bottom. And I'm going to put Iron Giant here in this C tier. I'm not going to go down to a D tier as I think he's still somewhat viable, but in 2v2s he can struggle a bit. He can cover a lot of ground with his moves, you know, cover a lot of space, force people to move out of the way and allow for their teammates to get easy follow-ups. Some of his moves are really easy to combo off of as well. Super armor he has in some moves and things like his neutral special is really good. But at the same time, when you're that big, you're just naturally a punching bag. And in doubles, sometimes there are just moments where you get hit back and forth and pinball to the point that it's just not quite optimal. He can stock tank and live to extremely high percents, but that doesn't exactly make up for his huge size either. All right, and then at the bottom of this next B tier, a character that I thought was going to get hit way harder with nerfs, but people are still complaining about Tornado. He's still having issues. So, you know, he's going to end up in this B tier. I'm going to put him at the bottom of the B tier because I just think at higher levels, Tornado isn't as effective and there's not as much good stuff in his kit, but he works really well as cleanup in a double scenario in a 2v2 setting. He can clean up kills for your team. He can, you know, rack up a lot of damage pretty quick too, but subpar recovery compared to a lot of the class, subpar edge guarding. So I think in general, he's good now and he's good at killing, but he's not quite the best in the game anything else. We're going to follow Taz up with another character that kind of fits in that same mold. I think Jake the dog is really good. And he's really good at cleaning up kills and kind of having a pretty good all-around game. But he doesn't do anything quite as well, or doesn't have quite the skill ceiling as some of these other characters. So while Jake is really good, he has normal, his grounded up normal is amazing, you know, horse, his down special in the air, all kinds of stuff really that has a lot of utility and a lot of different things he can do. But none of it is super great in the 2v2 setting, like nothing outstanding on its own. They're all good tools and they all serve a purpose, but he doesn't quite benefit his teammates enough or quite do 100% enough of like comboing and racking up damage on his own to warrant a better spot on this list. The last person in B tier is going to be Steven from Steven Universe. Steven's a good character. I don't want to make it look like he's not, and I think he actually, oops, he's supposed to be over here. That's supposed to be like this. There we go. Steven, I think, is better than the other two characters. He has more team utility. He has good combos. He can kill. Offstage game is pretty solid. There's a lot of unique interactions. And I think the ceiling for a team that runs Steven can be really high if you're really good at playing around and like knowing where you're going to set up platforms, what kind of combos you can have, all kinds of stuff, or ways to protect and heal up. He can even turn the game into a 3v2 at sometimes, so he's got a lot of good things going for him, but I just don't quite see him enough, and when I do, he's just a tad bit underwhelming for all the tools he has, so I'll have to see how he develops over time. And then my last character in the B tier is also going to be a character that's shooting up, and that is going to be Superman. Superman definitely has a case for A tier in my mind. Just because of the way his air dashes work. The way he can from ground easily dash back and forth, go up in the air. His aerial ability is insane. His kill power is really good. He has some good armor on everything as well. Lots of kill power. One of the best people at stealing off kills in the game, I think. And he also has unrivaled cheese potential. Nobody else in the game can go to the blast zone and grab someone and kill him at 30. You know, nobody else can get stocks that early potentially. So he definitely has a unique niche, and he has insane movement, which really opens up a lot of things for him too. But sort of like Jake and Taz, he just struggles to help out his team quite as much, but his mobility makes up for that. So that's why he's sitting at the top of B tier. Now after that, I think everyone else in the game is either in A tier or S tier. So everyone here, really solid characters. First one I'm going to talk about is going to be Reindog. Reindog, A tier. I mean, I've seen people at the top of the leaderboards with this character. He can do it all. He can zone, he can kill, he can help out his teammates. A lot of utility, really unique play style in the game that nobody else really can fill that same niche. He just really rounds out almost any team comp. So he's a really good character. Also going to put Shaggy up in the A tier. as Shaggy is kind of the fundamental of this game. He has a really good all-around kit, and before he was probably in the B tier, but just a couple buffs helped shift him up to that A tier. You know, starting with the sandwich really synergizes well with his instant charge perk. He, has good kill power, good combo power, good movement, can buff his teammate. There's really not much to complain about. There's nothing insane either to write home about, but he's a very solid, very good character that is just pretty good for anyone to pick up. Next, we're going to go to my favorite character, Batman. So I don't even play Batman, but I think he's so cool. And he also got buffed a bunch, and they're working out. I think in general, playing against Batman and seeing Batman's, he gets kills a little earlier with the weaken, but because of that, it's still kind of inconsistent, as people don't always have weaken on them. The smoke reflecting projectiles is a good touch. I generally think he's in a lot better place than he was. He's still not in that top echelon of characters, but he's in a pretty solid spot, and I think he's a really good character. This next one might be kind of controversial. Harley is going to be sitting in the A tier. She is the first assassin we put on this list, and she is a really good character, don't get me wrong. Being up this high, this character is very playable, very good. You can climb the ladder, you can do whatever with her most likely. But she just doesn't quite hit the same after the nerfs. Her hits themselves are still good. Combos good, kill power, setups, all that's still there. She's just not quite as safe as she was before. A lot of characters can easily air dodge it and how their moves. The number one Harley in the game, Bugsby, is sort of tending to try to switch off of Harley because of this. She's not quite as safe. And so for that reason, even though if she has some of the same upside as these characters that are going to be in the S tier, because of her defensive changes, she's going to be down in the A tier for now. And I'm actually going to put this character that was in my S tier previously in the A tier. I think Velma, really good. Similar to Ryan Dog in that she's support, can, help from full screen in this game, with projectiles and things like that. Calling the police after getting the evidence is almost an insta-kill if you can get somebody. There are a lot of good things about her, but she also struggles with rushdown and she needs certain team comp to be able to be successful. And because of that, I'm actually going to keep her out of the S tier, even if she's really strong in certain situations. And the other character I'm going to put into the A tier, the very last one is going to be Garnet. So both of my S tier characters from the pre-release tier list are down here in the A tier now. And I think part of that is play rate. I don't see many of those two. Whether that's on streams I'm watching of high-level players or in my own games. I think they're both really good characters with a lot of upside. Garnet has projectiles that can kill. She can buff her teammates. She can dash across the screen, good mobility, good kill power. She kind of has a lot of things going for her, but she doesn't generally excel in any one niche either. And so because of that, she's going to be below these characters that are listed above her. All right, and I will say I'm going to do my S tier now with our top 5 characters here. But I want to say I'm not going to order these in any rank, because once you get here, generally these characters are, in my opinion, some of the best. The game hasn't been out long enough to really distinguish it, and I need more time. But this is my idea of who my top 5 are in the game right now. And so at the bottom of this list, I'm going to put Wonder Woman. She is really good all around. Like I said before, she has all kinds of team utility. She has good combos, good recovery, good offstage game. She really kind of has it all going for her. But I think her down special is the thing that really kind of sets her apart sometimes. She can, snap to her teammate, give them both super armor for one hit. So she can basically combo break for her teammate, completely reverse a situation, which can be game changing completely. So that is something really good she has going for her, aside from having just really all around good kit in about every other way as well. So she definitely deserves a spot up here in the S tier. And I would say she is on the weaker side of it though. She's not quite as good as some of these other characters. Next we'll go Tom and Jerry. It's hard to not put a character in the S tier when Void chooses them and gets number 1 in the ladder. There's a lot of setups with Tom and Jerry. His normals are really good too for having such a strong zoning game. He can really mix up opponents with tennis ball tricks once shot across the screen. You can set up things with your TNT and your dynamite. There's all kinds of stuff going. He can really cover all the way across the stage pretty well. His offstage game, both up air and down air, are ridiculous. So he really has a lot going for him as well. And I think he's just a very solid all-around character with great zoning tools as well and setup tools. Then we're going to go with Arya Stark, a character, our second assassin on the board, and a character with a ridiculous combo game, with knife resets, backstabs, all kinds of things. She really can do a lot if you get to that skill level with her. She has a very high skill ceiling. She's very good. She doesn't really have necessarily the best kill power naturally, but she definitely has setups for it, and her combo game is ridiculous. So I would say she's definitely within my top 5. Then I would also put Bugs Bunny up here. This is the man with the biggest toolkit in the game. Between safe, his missiles, being able to grab items, being able to throw pies. He gets all these different projectiles that he can force you to do things and cover your movement, or he can just play the game risk-free. And that's without talking about down special, giving him a safe runaway to be able to continue to set up. So he really can pressure things and save his teammate without putting much risk at hand, and he also can get a lot of reward off of it. So I think Bug's in a great spot. Up air is ridiculous for juggles and KOs. His recovery is really good. His offstage game is amazing. You know, I don't really see many downsides in playing Bugs Bunny right now. The last character in this S tier is going to be Finn himself. So Finn the Human, you know, I was thinking he might be dropped down a tier or two with all of these nerfs, but really they have not been able to affect him too much. Finn feels very similar. He is a little weaker. There's a little more end lag on some things, but in general, he's pretty lagless still. He's pretty safe. Good combo game. You know, his up special offers a finisher to his combos as well. You know, he's got a lot going on and a lot of good things going for him. He's so fast, and so he's gonna stick there in that S tier. All right, guys. So there is my list. Open beta for Multiversus tier list. The first one is out. Let me know what you think in the comments or when I go live on stream over here at DJ8 on Twitch. I've been streaming every day Multiversus. You know, so feel free to stop on by. But if you have any other concerns, feel free to let me know. And we'll definitely update this in the future as well as things continue to get updated with the meta. See ya.